Am I on here? What's going on? Am I on here? Am I live with the people? Am I live with the cousins? Is y'all on here? Am I on here? Is the question. Well, shit, I logged in pretty much right on time. I was trying not to be on CPT time. So I guess I'm right on time. I'm going to give it a few more minutes to let the stragglers get in. To let all the cousins, because most cousins, they always late to the event because they got to get them damn kids ready. They got to still comb their hair, braid their shit, and all that stuff, and they still iron them clothes and all that stuff. They got to get ready. The old man, they got trouble with him and carrying on. He ain't paid the rent and shit, and they still coming over here to the family function, and the rent still ain't paid, and they got things going on. I'm getting some time to get in here and get situated so I can start chatting it up with y'all. Whoo! I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. I guess that's why it's going. I've been busy as shit, and I'm tired of the motherfucker. The first time since I started this show, I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if I should put out a message telling everybody I'm suffering from what that is, exhaustion. I passed out from exhaustion, and I can't do the show, honey. I got to get someone and get me the doctor prescribed a pillow and a fucking blanket and a Serta. I need to go lay my Bonnie Pfeiffer looking ass down somewhere and get me a nap. But I ain't even talk about all that. I'm on here. I came to see the cousins and holler at y'all and see what's going on. What's going on, Lakeisha Sturgis? She said, I made it for the first time. Listen, welcome, Lakeisha. Welcome, cousin. I'm so glad you actually made it down to the thing. And it's your first time, and that I get to acknowledge your first time being here with me in the live. So thank you, Lakeisha, for showing up. Listen, I am so happy to be here, as the foreign people say. But anyway, I'm glad to be back here in my chair with a few topics to discuss with you all. And so, just as I thought, 7:17. So I got a lot of other things to do. And I'm going to go on here and get started with the show. Listen, it's me, your homie, your boy, your cousin, your friend, your next door neighbor, maybe even your coworker. We fuck with each other that way. It's me, AJ Red. I'm back again. It's a live tonight, 7:15 p.m. on Sundays, the live. If this is your first time, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, thumbs up, and share these lives and videos and everything so we can grow the family. Like I said, I have some big things coming for the channel that I'm working on, and I would love to have more family members there present. Shit, we ain't got but 2 people in the live. What's going on? Everybody asleep. Y'all sick? Y'all got COVID? What the fuck? Things really went bad with the baby daddy? What's happening? Lakeisha, where you tuning in from? Since you gave a shout out, where you hitting us up from? Where you hanging around at? And she gonna tell me in a minute. And all the people over there on Facebook, y'all stay y'all old ass on Facebook, minding other folks' business and shit. That's all I'm doing over here is talking about other folks' business. That's all your ass do anyway. So bring your ass on over here off the Facebook and stop looking at all the other crap. And come on. Thomasville, North Carolina. I need to come down there to Thomasville and see the people and see how things is going. What's going on, Jay Daniel, in the comment section? Yes, I need to come down there to Thomasville. Y'all got good cooking over there? Because if y'all ain't, I know North Carolina usually got good cornbread and shit like that. Good soul food as well. Give me a reason. Because I'm loving to travel, so give me a reason. She said, child, ain't nothing here. Listen, sounds like Baton Rouge, your big raggedy where I was the weekend. Or at least for 24 to 38 hours. She said, ain't nothing there. Not even a Walmart or Barnes and Nobles in that bitch. Anyway, all right, guys, let's move on with the show. We are at 7:19 now. Listen, as usual, I've compiled a couple of topics that I wanted to discuss, some of which you see in the background, so you kind of already have the premise of what the fuck we're going to be discussing tonight. But first thing I want to start off with is, I guess I'm not going to say the biggest topic of discussion. Liam Payne's passing recently last week. Former member of One Direction. He passed. Cause of death, basically, he fell off a third-story balcony and therefore met his demise. Let's just unpack that real quick. Not too long on it. We're gonna unpack that real quick. So, as they reported, of course, he's transitioned. He's passed away. He was in Argentina, I guess, on vacation. I don't know what was going on or what he was there for, business or whatever. But the man fell from a third-story balcony on to the pavement, ergo pretty much breaking every bone in his body, and therefore ipso facto auto. It comes on the heels of that he passed from a under the influence of a drug called crystal, which is basically a hallucinogenic, I guess similar to mushrooms, but not too similar, because I never really heard of anybody on mushrooms and just falling from a third-story balcony to their demise. It was also said that when police came upon the scene, that it was reported that the room was also just basically torn the hell up. His room was in disarray. It was a mess. And so they're pretty much kind of understanding now that maybe the drugs is what caused him to go on this drug rant, tearing up the room, and then somehow falling, or if not, maybe thinking he's in a fucking video game and leaping off the balcony, thinking he's playing, Mario Brothers or some shit like that. Sharon Osbourne spoke out, and she mentioned that she feels as though the musical community has failed him, has failed Liam, and that's kind of why this has happened to him. I'm going to counter Sharon Osbourne and any of those thinking in that manner, that he has been failed by society. He may have been failed by his parents, maybe have been failed by the will to deflect or turn down things like crystal or whatever the hell. I ain't never even heard of shit like that. I ain't never even heard of no drug called crystal. Anybody I known was named Crystal was either a cousin of mine or somebody else's cousin. I ain't never even heard of an auntie named, well, I have an auntie named Crystal, but I never heard of a drug named Crystal. I've heard of a few things that's circulating the situation, which in which I haven't not partaken in, because I ain't got time for that. You mean to tell me, first of all, Sharon gonna say she felt as though the musical community failed him? No, he failed himself. Other than his parents, he failed himself. Let's just be honest. At the end of the day, that was a grown-ass man. He made particular choices. I am so sorry, and my condolences for the loss of this individual, but he made choices. And that's why I don't fool with, with shit like that. You're not going to get into my, here's this batch of, I don't know, shit, rice and roni. If you sniff it good, then, you'll feel real good. I'm not going to sit around here sniff no, I'm not going to do no mushrooms. I'm not about to attempt to do damn sure not no crystal, because clearly it causes you to, lose your mind and tear up your room and, allegedly leap or fall off a balcony 3 stories to your demise. There are so many things going through my mind. Like there, I know we're all human and we all are vulnerable to the same things, including, transitioning or being unalived. But it's like with celebrities, you would think that they have enough money to have done research on the drug before they fucked with it. It's like there's no way in the world you're just gonna bring me. You couldn't even bring me a bitch named Kristen and say, oh, she's 6'4". That alone get a cancel on my list. She's very noble. She's very reliable. She makes good money. I don't even want that Crystal. So you mean to tell me some shit I got to sit up here and smoke through a pipe, or injecting my nose, or sniff, or injecting my veins, should I say, or sniff through my nasal cavities, that is supposed to get me the experience of a euphoric experience? No, I kind of explore my euphoric experiences in the form of my dreams, right? Both sleeping and on this plane, on this side. When I think of all the things that I want to do, that I want to accomplish, that I want to, that I aspire to do, I'm not going to go smoke crystal. The girl or the girl, I'm not going. And they said the police is still investigating it as a homicide to rule out the possibility of that he may have been, rubbed out, in whatever fashion y'all see that. What's going on, Trigger Payne? Listen, I saw you going in the house late the other night with a bunch of groceries and carrying on. We're gonna talk about that later on. We're gonna discuss that. But no, I understand that being in the entertainment industry, there are some things that they're prone to do that people that are, I guess, regular people are not prone to do, or maybe even in a different light or to a lower degree. But at the end of the day, we can't sit up here, Sharon Osbourne, and say that anybody failed him. It's either him that failed himself or his drug dealer. That's it. Only lies between the two of them. We don't know what kind of relationship they had. Just like Michael Jackson with the doctor with the propofol, allegedly, and I think it was Prince and all these other people, and the other white guy that recently died from the cast of Friends or some shit like that. We don't know what relationship they had, but we know kind of what the relationship was that man from Friends had with the doctor, because they talked about it and explained it. Now they got their ass, so they got the whole panel on trial. But I can't sit around and mourn the death of somebody that smoked some shit, knowing, or inhale some shit, or snuff a Lupkins, some shit that they knew could possibly at some point give them a closer walk with thee. You knew this was a possibility. So, I mean, I'm sure he probably accepted it probably in the last few minutes, probably when he went over the other side or whatever, of the balcony. I'm pretty sure there was a whole lot of things. He might have thought he was probably falling into a bed of cotton. Shit, we don't know what he was thinking in his last final moments. But I really would love to know what he was thinking. I don't know. More so while he was doing it, or what he was thinking. I don't know. But anyway, Sharon Osbourne, ain't nobody failed him. The only thing has been failed here is, the Ozempic trials with you and several others, like Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, the one thing Reverend Al Sharpton had, that perm has always worked for him, but that Ozempic then really took him for a ride. All right, we're going to get on to the next thing, because I don't really too much like talking about the passing of people. That is just, give me the wigglies. All right, so next on the list, okay, Alexis Skylar, y'all know her, right? Fetty Wap's ex and all this different stuff. She was on Love and Hip Hop, I think, Atlanta some point, in New York, I think it was. She has a friend, Anthony, that is now taking to the platforms now, Instagram, telling everybody and showing us, y'all now got to get it together. There you go, over there. That she and several of her goons, one being a female and one being a male, rolled upon him. Now, he was supposed to be an alleged friend of Alexis's, right? But it was said that he made some kind of comment about her, not taking very good care of her daughter, dropping her off with strangers, and I think her daughter has a disability. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I was looking, but correct me if I'm wrong. He was saying that she was dropping her daughter off with strangers and just leaving her with different people and not really, basically bad parenting. And I don't know. Apparently, they couldn't have been that good of a friend to one another, because either he would have known that he crossed her, that she would have his marshmallow roasted, his ass whooped, his tea boiled, or whatever you want to call it. But somehow or another, she caught him up somewhere and things went left. And she decided to, allegedly, per what he's saying, that the goon showed up and beat the dog shit out of him. Okay, so now let's unpack that real quick, because this ain't Christmas, but we got a lot of unwrapping and unpacking and shit to do. Now, y'all see what the boy's face looked like. Now, when I first saw him, I think the lump right here, that lump, that scar, and pull it back a little taste. There, right about here. This was a lump. When I first saw it, the bitch looked like a unicorn. He looked like a little baby horse or a little baby deer first starting out with them little things on their head. Whatever that he said, she hit him in the face. Alexis did. The other chick punched him in the back of the head. And the dude, I don't know what did, but he fell to the floor, and all of a sudden he's missing a veneer. He has some broken ribs. His pride is hurt. He's feeling all kinds of fucked up, right? And he's taken to his platform to basically say he's bringing this to us, the public, because he wants us to, first of all, know friends ain't always friends, and that he wants the gay community to be eradicated of these homosexual soliloquies and the bashings and the ass whoopings and just the gay hatred. This does not sound like gay hatred to me. This does not sound like somebody had a problem with a gay person and decided to open a can of whoop ass. That does not what this sounds like to me. What you have told us, son, was a story. Like they do with them country songs. You told us a story. You basically told us that you and this woman were friends, that you watched her daughter for the most part from time to time, or a good bit, and that at one point or from time to time, she decides that she can just throw her child off with anybody and have no regard for the child's well-being or welfare, and the people that are the demeanor or the personality of the people that are taking care of her child. And apparently she has told thee, keep speaking on my name, keep talking and saying this, yada, 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 and watch what happened. Now, if you're her friend, you've heard her probably say this before, right? And you've heard her I'm pretty sure you witnessed her put her cat scratches on a couple of other people. So I'm pretty sure you have been privy to stuff in her ways and all this stuff before. And if you had not, that's part of my issue with the gay community. Every time a woman wants to be your friend, that don't mean being her friend without having some kind of boundaries or some shit like that. Listen, don't pull up over here to my dropping your kids off to my house on my off day or some shit because you got something to do. I say that because a lot of the times it looks as though some women, not all, some women choose gay male friends because it's like having that gay boyfriend that, that boyfriend that they've never had that gives them all that affection, those good conversations, that cooks, that cleans, help out financially if need be, and they can afford it, or watch the kids, or come over and cook the kids dinner, and just do all that kind of shit for her while being her friend. And it's sometimes, it has been very many times that I've seen, it seems as though some straight women or some women, period, just keep gay guys around as like a pocketbook, or maybe an emergency. Because let's just be honest, girls and gay guys get along a lot for the most part, up until here recently, a few years ago, when they come with this bullshit about the men wants to be goods and goods wants to be men, and there's a whole war and all this different stuff. Civil War Part 3 gonna break out, and World War Part 10 gonna come, and all this different bullshit, right? So I did get with it for a minute because I felt like it was basically a show pony. And God forbid you're a good looking cute gay and know how to dress or some shit like that and got a little coin. They definitely gonna use you. You can braid a little hair or something, do a little makeup, fool around and be gay and fix a car, or you can cook, or you clean. They're gonna use your ass to the max a good bit of the time if they're not a good friend. Point I'm trying to make is cut it out. You did all that stuff and all that work to sit up and be in this one. Now, I don't know what he does for a living because he was telling his story in a Versace robe. So I don't know what he does. So I'm not going to speak to his way of living and how he makes his money. But I will say this. At the end of the day, you know that you cross that woman. And it's not no gay hatred shit. So don't try to call us gays. Don't try to call the rainbow phone asking us bitches to pick up and start protesting against Alexis and her goons, whoever they may be, because this is a gay man that got his ass whooped. By, I don't know, because the way you make it sound is like basically they beat you up for being gay. And that's just not the premise, my baby. That's not why you got your ass whooped. You walking around there right now with raccoon eyes because you spoke on that woman's life and them children. You looking like a raccoon had sex with a deer over there on day one because you said some shit you shouldn't say to that woman, and you got your ass beat. You got the stuffing beat out your muffin. Don't sit up here and call us gay folk and ask us to jump on the case. We got a whole lot of shit going on. Right now we watching to see what's going to go on with Diddy. We trying to see what's going to go on with Kamala and Donald. We trying to see if we're going to be reverted back to AKA some type of slavery. We trying to see what privilege next that the government is sitting behind our backs. While we paying attention to your bullshit, you getting your deserved ass whooping, maybe. You distracting us with foolishness. And we got bigger fish to fry. So I will say this to you, Anthony. Pick your friend girls better. Because I can honestly tell you, it wouldn't have worked out like that for me. Now, her showing up with herself and two other goons, they'd have been on Instagram and telling everybody how they're trying to file charges against me because I done turned into the Tasmanian devil and done tore up the whole guy. I done fucked him completely up. You're not finna catch me down bad with that one. You're not finna catch me in the public and talking about whooping my ass. That's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm like Monique. So what you gonna do? Because you can't beat me up. So honestly, I guess I can say to you, when you speak about people, you need to be prepared for the repercussions that could be coming back to you. And in this case, it came back. I mean, you got paid the knuckle sandwiches. I don't fucking know you went speaking some shit, talking about some shit that you really had no business. You should have just, if you were a real friend to her, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know if you said it publicly, if you said it to her on the phone. But if you were a real friend to her, yes, friends tell each other the truth, but you probably said that in some nasty ass way that I don't know. Bottom line is, choose your friends better. Because this friendship, you got paid in ass whooping. And it just ain't fair. But don't call on us gay folk and us lesbians and us bisexuals and us pansexuals. Please don't call on us. We got enough to do already and enough going on. All right. Let me see what else. I'm sitting there checking messages. I'm trying to see if anybody calling about my mama. All right. The next thing Shamar, y'all know Shamar with the hernia in the back and all that stuff. That's what y'all call it. Now, I will say Shamar became a friend of mine after I started this platform. And the crazy part about it, we've never met in person, but we used to, we were always doing this, going back and forth, social media talking. And Shamar was not a great influence, but he was basically a good motivation. He would, always send me motivational quotes or something like that, or always sending me something nice or something to motivate me into continuing what I'm doing, right? And so we would talk all the time in social media. Now, I guess I don't know if you say friends or what, because I've never given Shamar my number, but we always, talk back and forth in social media, in DMs or inbox, whatever you want to call it. And after that began, it's always been a thing of mine. I've watched him from afar. I've never really made it a point to meet up with Shamar or go hang out or anything like that, which probably makes me a bad friend, or I don't know if you want to say bad friend, associate, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Bottom line is, we've never really sat down and had tea and crumpets and, kiki and leg slap. But I will say this, he's always been a good motivation to me, and people probably don't even know that. And some people probably listening right now be like, what the fuck you mean? Yeah, when I first started this platform, Shamar was one of the main ones, used to be probably in the comment section a lot, but then he moved over to just sending me private messages, just kind of encouraging me to go further and, do more. And as I got to know him and see how his career is moving, kind of like mistakenly, but he has his own blessings, right? His own calling upon his own life. So he's doing that. It sometimes, and I don't always speak about his stuff and what he has going on, but it just behooves me sometimes that they said of the last time I seen, motherfuckers had him, in trying to read or talk about his educational level and different things like that. Just embarrassing, just being disrespectful and rude. Now I've seen, and there's a lot of stuff that happened in between, but now I've seen that he, and I guess now I'm hoping an ex-boyfriend of his that decided to put his meat beaters on him because he was, allegedly caught cheating or accused of cheating. And this big back motherfucker was out there trying to pretty much gorilla ape handle him by, punching on him, beating him up and all this different stuff, taking his phone, kind of bullying him. Yolanda, listen, I'm glad you caught it live too, because the room is getting thin. Tori, what's up, cousin? I'm glad you actually got up in here too. I know you probably been busy working and carrying on, but I'm glad you made it down to the live. I am doing well, Tori. I hope you are doing awesome as well, cousin. But look, what was I talking about? Oh, Shamar. It's just funny to me now that the people that were filming, that are around, that called themselves his friend or associate, whatever you want to call it, I can honestly tell you, I could not have been there and watched that go down without stepping in and rectifying the situation in whatever shape, form, or fashion that would have looked like to you all, because by any means necessary. It just kind of breaks my heart a little bit to see him, he's going through all of this shit. Now, mind you, I just saw another young man on TikTok talking about how he was fired by Shamar's manager, or by Shamar, because it was between him and the manager, because basically they're saying they're stealing Shamar's money. They say Shamar can't read, but I think that's a bunch of bullshit. The bitch be sending me shit in DMs and shit unless he got somebody he dictating the shit to and they over there typing it to me. I think I understand he can read at least a little bit. So, but that's what the guy was saying. But getting back to this most recent situation, this man over here, first of all, it's against the law to be jumping on and beating up the handicap. Because I mean, listen, don't go taking this shit out of context. Because I know what y'all thinking. Y'all probably sitting over there not giggling or some shit, thinking just taking it out of context. I'm just saying, if you really look at the picture, Shamar is basically what they would deem as handicap, right? It doesn't take a genius. Even Stevie Wonder could see it. We know he could because we saw him catch the motherfucking microphone that they fell off. He just ain't told us yet. You can't sit up there and tell me that we don't understand this man has, yes, learning conditions, learning curves, and a disability, a handicap. And you mean to tell me that y'all still continue to pimp this man out? Shamar, friend, let me tell you something. Shamar, bitch, the next time we talk, we're going to have to discuss whoever that chick is. I forget that bitch name that you got over there. You need to let me be your manager. I got my own shit going on. I got my own manager. But you let me be your manager simply because I would actually treat you right. And if it ain't me, let it be somebody else. Somebody who's actually going to do right by you and be a friend or at least be an employee, an obedient employee to do what you ask them to do and represent you in a light that makes sense and doesn't make you look like you are some kind of homeless, individual and you ain't got shit going for yourself. I think that's wrong. I think that we need to stop laughing. And we need to start asking real fucking questions like, where is the social worker? Where the fuck is the case manager? Because if we know if he's getting any kind of disability benefits, now I ain't never asked the bitch all this when we talking and carrying on, because that ain't my business. But the shit is out here so I can talk about the shit that's on the platform out here, with the people in the society. Public knowledge, right? Where is the social worker? Where is the case manager? Where is the people that are supposed to enforce the law to make sure that our handicap are not being impeded on, our handicap is not being utilized for some kind of as a catalyst to project somebody else's career or to get somebody else the next six-pack for the next day or to pay somebody else's light bill. I know Shamar ain't rolling in it like that. I'm sure I have more money than Shamar. The bottom line is Shamar is pretty much, I ain't gonna say paying a manager. There's a manager, I'm pretty sure now, that is sitting around taking what they want off the top and leaving Shamar with the crumbs. We've seen it done. When Shamar walking around here with them twister balls from the dollar store from the Beauty Empire and top his head and carrying on and shit, begging for sandwich bread and meat and cake. Now listen. I think somebody need to call, it ain't abuse on the elderly because he ain't elder, but somebody need to call the people and make sure that those people that are handling any medication that he takes, any of his daily care that is a necessity to his daily life to, keep him living every day. Anybody that is involved in that process, I feel needs to be investigated. Because first of all, this fight took place outside of a hotel. Now, unless Shamar was on tour, because y'all know he released a single saying he abused me or some shit like that. I think it was abusing me. So unless he on tour with this new song release, and let's just be honest, Shamar is more successful than Miss Netta. Charles, your lunch is red. That shit ain't went no further than you can throw it. But Shamar's success has been going on since before Miss Netta came along. But I'm not trying to get on Miss Netta. What I'm saying is, why were they in a hotel? And this big back bastard is over here beating on this boy, and the people sitting in the car that Shamar is talking to, nobody's getting out helping him. The bastard that was recording didn't stop to help him. Yolanda says, sadly, he's an easy target and everyone makes money off of him except him. That is very true. And that is what I was looking at. Mind you, he and I have never had any discussion about his career, nor mine, his finances, nor mine. But again, after he and I separate from those discussions or any discussions that we've had, it just always seems to go to, I see him on a social media platform, and every time I see him, he's being fucking dogged. Every time I see him, he's being dogged. Now, whoever that Will the Beast was that was over there punching on him, acting a goddamn fool, acting as if though, you know, you been saying F me and all this different stuff, that makes no sense at all. Because at the end of the day, one thing about it, I will say Shamar always gets his man. I don't know if he got shabuki dust, bitch, monkey dust. He used alcohol, liquor, mummy dust, turpentine, embalming fluid, crystal. I don't know if he used any of that shit to get his man. But I will say he always keeps. Now that I think about it, I just had an epiphany. What he uses to get them motherfuckers is that money, the little bit of change he do got, even if it's just his disability check. Motherfuckers will hang around for that. And what you don't understand is a motherfucker that you've taken into your life that ain't got shit, ain't been shit, don't want shit, but you that already have the shit or is the shit, you know, and you take this person from having to work at Jack in the Box or work down there at McDonald's where they found Donald Trump down there working on the fry station a couple days ago. Y'all ain't think I heard about that shit, but I'm going to start showing y'all. I'm going to incorporate the show within the show. But working down there at McDonald's where Donald Trump was, mopping floors, living in their mama basement, and now all of a sudden, and shopping at Walmart, now they done found a bitch that'll take him to Target. You know, live in hotels. They can be out their mama house, so the whole family got to hear about them living up in their mama house and when they got somebody. And then all of a sudden, this bastard done gone crazy in their psyche now, thinking that all that you have given them to save them and made available to them to make sure that they never, in their mind, has to ever go back to doing the things that they were having to do to make money and to live. And you about to dump them or ditch them? Exactly, Yolanda, a hobosexual. He's fucking with hobosexuals. Thank you, Yolanda. I had to send you a gift basket. Hobosexuals, that was the perfect term. Because in the end, again, these are motherfuckers that don't do shit for themselves. If their mama could still sit them to the table and put a bib on them and feed their funky ass tomahawk steak cut up with baked macaroni yams and all the fixes and whatnot and carrying on, they will sit to the table and allow that shit to happen. And they're so fixated on, and trust me, nobody wants to have to work. I don't want to have to work. But if I want to keep building what I have, what I've already got, my house, and all that shit, like Trina say, was it Trina? Yeah, like Trina say, all that stuff. So it is a dangerous thing to give somebody everything in a blink of an eye. They feel like whether it's true or not, to snatch it all away from them, they feel threatened. And they're not going after a person that was probably cheating on you. Well, sometimes they are. But in this case, that silverback gorilla was knocking the shit out of Shamar over there in between that Buick, was knocking his head between the washer and the drop. Well, in this case, in between the Buick and the Oldsmobile. And then took his phone. Shamar, if you're out there, friend, and you still watching, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up probably tonight. You ain't got to deal with that. You don't have to put up with that. You need to at least find somebody that is actually going to, if they're going to be with you out of being genuine. Because all them little dudes, and I knew there was something. I'm not saying that you ain't worried to have nobody, child. I'm just saying all them little motherfuckers, they're with you for your money, bitch. They wasn't with you for your looks. I'm just gonna be honest, bitch. And I'll tell you the same thing when we get the chit-chatting and shit on the back end, bitch. They're not with you for your looks, bitch. You know that. That girl done told me that before. I'm with this little dude, yada yada, but I know he's not with me for this and then for that. Well, what are they with you for? It's the pocketbook. And you don't understand, bitches ain't carrying around books of food stamps no more. It's all digital. All right, anyway, I'll talk to Shamar later on. But next thing, 40 minutes in, I'm almost done. Well, a couple more things. So Kirk Franklin, I got him up on the thing because yes, clout is heavily a drug. And Shamar's name has clout. And that's what motherfuckers are doing. They're trying to ride the wave until it becomes, you know, the big one, the big wave. And they can actually sit on their ass, you know what I'm saying, and not have to do anything. But anyway, Kirk Franklin is in the hot seat again. There's so many pastors and carrying on saying that he needs an intervention because he's doing too much in the church, in his little shows and whatnot. And he's compromising the kingdom of God. Oh, bibliotion. Because he's doing all that. Y'all know Kirk Franklin do all that old sex. Y'all know the man he came out and said he was a sex addict. So even, I guess if he can't, screw no sanctified cat in his mind on stage, maybe that's what he's doing. Now, Kirk Franklin has always been a dancer. He's never been a singer. He's always been basically a gospel hype man, a writer, and all that different stuff there. And he has written good songs and put together good choirs and made damn good music. Matter of fact, the people are saying that the pastors are the ones that's putting him on blast, saying that he ought to be ashamed of himself, because when they did the family reunion tour last year, they came and went around, doing all over the place. And somewhere then, I think he was grinding or twerking with Jackie or some shit like that, right? It was all in fun. That's the problem with church folk. They don't know how to have no kind of fun. They figure everything's supposed to be holy, sanctified, filled with the Spirit and the blood of Jesus and oh God, praise him, oh she, oh Biblia, and all that different stuff there, and knock down the walls of Jericho. And it's just so much going on. It's like, shut the fuck up sometime. Because all that you doing in church, you just really putting on for the Lord. When he see your 32-piece party cap wearing ass anyway down to the church, he see right through that wig you got on your head. He see right through them sew-ins you put on your head. He even see through that toupee. And for you bald motherfuckers out there, he really ain't got no problem getting through your shit. And he know you ain't nothing but a heathen. You ain't nothing but the devil. You talk about everybody's business. You talk about your sister, your brother, your mother, your cousin. You're one of the most treacherous people there are. He know you. But you want to come to church on Sunday and sit with your legs crossed, hollering praise him and all that stuff, giving your fake wave praise and shit and falling out. Now, it makes no sense. The problem is that is why nobody fucks with the church. Because they are so judgmental. And my thing is, at the end of the day, the biggest hypocrites we all know are church people. It's okay to be spiritual. It's okay to go to church, but don't sit up there and come to the church in the pews and act like you ain't never done nothing. You ain't never. Now, some of y'all haven't. Some of y'all probably as boring as a motherfucking cup of Ovaltine without the sugar. But you come in acting like you ain't never done nothing in your life. You ain't never, performed fellatio on a man that you did know his name and probably still don't to this day. That's man and woman. That you ain't never stole a little something, including that pen from your office, Sister Elder, back in '68 when you was working down for bail, for my bail. That God saw that. So you are no more clean in his eyes than anybody else. So why do y'all go on with this lie, making everybody think that you have to be so clean, pristine, and pure in order to be seen in the eyes of the Creator? Kirk Franklin being hump in the air. Kirk Franklin being fucking the beach. You know what I'm saying? He been doing all kind of hunching ass, freaking ass shit. He been doing that shit since I was a child. when he came out with Stomp. And he went to the club. Stomp went to the club before it went to the church. Did y'all hear me? For those of you are out there of a particular age, y'all know what I'm talking about. When Stomp came out, you know how old you was. Even if you lie about it, you still know how old you was. Stomp hit the club before it hit the church. I wasn't up in the club yet, but I hear my cousin them come home, saying how they heard it in the club. But I was hearing that on the radio. And they was demonizing it then, just like they did the Clark Sisters when they came out with You About the Sunshine and all that stuff, saying it was boogie woogie music. Although, Twinkie did take some of, I think it was Stevie Wonder or somebody, I don't know what she was using. One of those beats for the church. Hold on one second, y'all. Shit. All right. I guess y'all see what this bitch had to go run off. All right. Yeah. I mean, Kirk Franklin said he was addicted to porn. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, the good part about it, he was addicted to porn. I think, and I'm saying the reason I say it's a good thing is because it wasn't alleged, or I heard that he's running around just hitting different women and having different babies everywhere, doing all kind of, weird stuff. This is the thing. Like, there's a lot more church people or big moguls or figures, I'm sure, that are addicted to a lot more, including porn. But they're not going to tell you, because that's not going to be them saying that they've done what thus said the Lord, which is staying on the path of righteousness. They want to be perfect. They want to be always made in God's image, but you're already created in his image. How much more do you want to be in this image? Do you want to just be him? That seems a little crazy. And that's why some of these pastors, I think, in my mind, are pretty much projecting themselves and their messages as though they are God. They are the creator. Yolanda, listen, you done made your first live. You've been waiting too long because you've been acting a fool since you've been up in here, and I'm loving all of it. She said, has he ever been swallowed up? I'm pretty sure Kirk them is, because they say that man had they say he had a good blessed assurance. For you women out there that was looking for somebody while he looking like the gospel version applies, they say he had a good blessed assurance. Yes. I wouldn't know. Never really paid. Well, I ain't gonna say never really paid attention, because that would be a lie. Because when you see Kirk doing all that humping and bumping on stage, he ain't got no draws, just concealing himself. Shit. Kirk out there tripping out over there on like them kids over there on TikTok. He out there doing the trip out. And that's probably why a lot of them pastors getting mad, because a lot of them pastors that's mad probably knowing good and well they blessed assurance ain't looking nothing like that in front of them old Brooks Brothers bands. They preaching in the morning, and their wife ain't looking at none of that, and they know that man is blessed. Look how get over there. Look how big that motherfucking nose is. They always see us big nose people. That motherfucker look like if they start charging for air, he'd be the first one to start paying taxes. His bill would be one of the highest. And they say, the hands, the feet, the nose, the ears. Different people got different kind of myths and stuff like that. But if they was going off the nose, as short as he has not been around Kirk in the same room, and I can tell you right now, Kirk Franklin, with that big old hunkadory ass Brahma bull nose on his face, I got one. I know. Look at this big old. Listen, see that, and I'm not gonna lean too much towards the camera because I don't want to slide that bitch over here towards me when I inhale. So, but I know as a person with a large nose, a big ass honker, I know for a fact that it looks like a 2-car garage on a 4-bedroom house. So I already know that that man ain't just sitting around talking, all that. Them pastors is mad with him. They some haters. All them pastors is mad because that man he been singing "Endow Me" for a long time, apparently, along with the Clark sisters. And apparently the Lord has, granted his wish, and the people is noticing, the women's and carrying on, even the pastors. That's why they want him to stop humping the air and shit and carrying on. All right, listen, Yolanda. Appreciate you. Love you so much, and thank you again for joining the live. Please make sure you come back and join again. But listen, I say it like this. They said that, God, they say he give you different gifts, different talents and stuff like that. And I believe the pastors that are up there to give, to swindle the people out there money legally, and they need to talk to Keon Henderson. But the ones that are out there able to swindle their money, get it legally, I feel as though, to me, Kirk ain't bothering nobody, right? Now y'all holler back if y'all hear me. Y'all let me know if Kirk bothering y'all here with all this dancing, because they said you're supposed to praise him. All the people, all the cymbals and all the instruments. Now Kirk said he's the Pied Piper and he playing the pipe. I had to gulp on that one. Kirk, he's the Pied Piper. So at the end of the day, it boils down to this. I feel as though with Kirk, and this all honesty and seriousness, I feel as though Kirk Franklin has been a pillar in the gospel community for quite a long time as it appeals to or refers to the musical side. Kirk has changed the music, the gospel industry as far as the music goes. Kirk has done a phenomenal job. They will say he blurred the lines, but he blurred the lines in a good way. That brought us, it was already on the way with the Clark sisters and all that stuff. They were already doing it, right? But cohesively, Kirk played a very big instrumental piece in bringing us people like Kiara Sheard, the Walls Group, what do you got? Tasha, what is her name? Tasha Cobbs. People like that, and brought us even more younger talent that are actually so phenomenal, vocally, mentally, I guess, and just creatively. They bring such a good balance, and Kirk has always brought that, and I think that he's probably going to forever be loved, acknowledged, reared, and yes, Jay Dan, you brought us Tamala. You brought us David and Tamala. One could say there would be no Tamala if it was not for Kirk Franklin, for all the Tamala man lovers, right? Because after they started with Kirk Franklin, they built I feel like Trump now. I'm doing this shit. We got to stop. After they started with Kirk Franklin, they got to a point to where he helped propel their career to the next level with television. Not just vocally, but with television, which brought about them working with Tyler Perry. So instead of giving him his flowers, it seems like they're basically trying to give him a headstone and put a stamp on his career and just put it in a grave because of what they feel like he did that's not in alignment with what the church would want. And I feel like that's some bullshit. I've met Kirk Franklin 3 times in my life. I've only had one conversation with him. And I could probably say that conversation was probably all of maybe 5 minutes. And I can honestly say that although y'all we kind of judged him a little bit when he wanted to put his foot in his son's ass, it was entertaining to me. It was funny. I've never heard him really speak anything bad, even in that approximately 5 minute conversation. Even things of inspiration to me. So, Kirk Franklin is a person like the rest of us. He's trying to be this, this Christian, but he said, of course, Christianity is been washed in so many things, and not just the blood of the lamb. So I do understand him just saying, F what everybody else say, F what everybody else is doing. I've gotten a word from on high from the Lord myself as to what my assignment is, because you know how difficult it is to be on this earth. You know how people are trying to sit around now and find out what their life's journey or what their job is or what their life's purpose is of being on this earth is. And to have received that at such a young age for him, and just doing that regardless of what people think, regardless of what you've been taught, regardless of how people look at you, and regardless of how people treat you. So I think everybody needs to get really in that same pocket of just being like Kirk Franklin. Just get out there and pop that thing. Don't give a fuck what nobody else say. Get out there and shake your dang-lang, your booty. Not naked, but if you're going to be for the Lord, go ahead and get out there and do your thing for the Lord, what God gave you to shake. Not shake. Oh, that sounds so bad. Whatever talent y'all gave you to show off in his house and to please the people, we want to see it. Do it. Last but not least, because I'm almost an hour in. So Kiki Palmer tells us that she filed bankruptcy at the tender age of 18 for the very first time, and that she now feels that she's more financially responsible and that she seeks to never, ever again find herself in that situation. She says she's even to the point where she makes sure that she got a Toyota parked out in the yard. She shops at Publix, Target and shit, like, you know what I'm saying, Zara versus big name stores like Gucci and stuff like that. I think it's very unfortunate she had to find out that lesson that way, but I think it's a very lesson well learned, for the simple fact of she learned it, unlike she did with, well, never mind. She learned a very valuable lesson that a lot of adults, even my age, older, and somewhere underneath that, need to learn, even if you come into money. I got it. Yes. Yes, I have it. I have it. But at the end of the day, having it means nothing if you can't keep it. And so that means with that, you have to be responsible with your finances. And I know, of course, unfortunately, in the African American community, a lot of the time that was not very well taught. It was not a big life lesson. And of course, over here in the US of A, I remember going to school. The biggest lesson I was taught was regarding finances was how to balance a checkbook. And that shit still didn't work out for me, because I was still writing checks my ass couldn't cash. And I knew it, but I was still doing it anyway. So I had to learn a lesson from that. But finances, financial courses are very rarely taught in this country in schools, which I think should be implemented at least at the tender age, or at least middle school, right? Because that is one of those things that is detrimental to your everyday well-being, your day-to-day life, finances. So I kind of understand. I've never filed bankruptcy. Don't plan on it. But I will say this, just as I would say with a church or a preacher, don't preach a message unless you've, if you preach a message, it means that much more to know how you relate to it. If that makes sense. If you preach a message, it makes that much more sense if you are able to preach it from a standpoint of being able to relate to it. And I say that because at the end of the day, I've again never filed bankruptcy. I think I'm pretty sure I'm older than Keke Palmer, but I have never filed bankruptcy. So that, again, I've always said in life, you can't say that you're not experienced unless you got to be this particular age. There are some people who are, there are infants who experience death, and there are 80-year-olds who have never. So you're gonna tell that infant or that child or that younger person that they don't know anything about life because they haven't experienced life. They haven't had the chance to experience life. You have. But I say that in the aspects of saying that we all go through things. It may not be in the same stage or age of life. So it behooves us to take advice from whomever. If a person comes to me and tell me, "Oh, bitch, I started this business with Billy Goat Gruff with snow cones or assembly, and I'm telling you right now, it ain't good. It's not a good deal, especially now with Billy Goat Gruff." You think I'm gonna have Billy Goat Gruff come here and knock on my door, send me an email talking about going into now they done fail snow cones, now they want to do hot dogs? Maybe. Depending on what the hell the hot dog industry look like, a snow cones might not be that good, but the bottom line is I have caution. Because some people say, well, I ain't never experienced myself and I want to see what it's like. I wouldn't have to experience bankruptcy just to understand what it's like. I mean, shit, some of us live it every day, right? If you budget your money, I have money, but I live my life as though I don't have shit. As though I'm trying to figure out definitely where the next penny gonna come from. Because if you don't live like that now or for a short period of time, for a long period of time, you will be without. Because you'll live your life thinking that you always have it. And if there ever comes a point to when you don't know what the fuck to do. Well, some of us do, because But I will say this. I do understand what Keke Palmer is saying. And I hope that anybody who has seen that story or listened to the story I'm telling about her would pay better attention to your finances, the way you move and how, and do things. Because at the end of the day, owning a house, owning a car, any of that shit, it ain't worth the damn. You can get all you want. If it ain't paid for, it ain't yours. I mean, fuck it. I was gonna take the long way around it, but I ain't got time for that. I'm an hour and 2 minutes in. But listen, I would say to you all as a business, everyday life business standpoint, I would say hear her out on her words. I've known people that filed for bankruptcy. Some of them had to. Some of them just did just to get the fuck out of the debt. Me personally, I'd rather work through it. My debt is just fine. I'm paying all my shit. I'm good. But if there ever came a time, there's so many other options. But being the age of 18 and not knowing these things, I'm pretty sure her parents were probably not paying attention, because whatever little money she was making, whatever little coin she was getting, it was far outside their tax bracket, I'm sure, and they didn't know how to handle that. And she probably didn't pay taxes on certain stuff. She didn't go into a whole lot of detail from what I saw in the interview, but there was a few minute things that she mentioned, and it's just mismanagement of funds, which we're all guilty of it at some point when we have our shopping bonanzas or whatever the fuck we do in our mind, right? But just pay attention to y'all money. I ain't rich, bitch, but I'm comfortable. Some may not think so, because I probably still, because I shop at Target or small brand stores. Yeah, that's how I keep my money. The money that I make, that's how I bank it. Nobody knows that but me. Ain't nobody need to know but me. So I always pretty much act in the idea of if you act in the idea of they say you are what you think or whatever have you. If you act in the mindset of that's what you are. No, not necessarily. I operate every day in the mindset of, oh, I ain't got it. I'm up against it. I'm broke. That's what I do. And all the while, I know what I have, but it's almost like tricking yourself, right? It's almost like tricking yourself into saying, um, I know I have it, but I don't. How's the best way to say it? Because it's crazy fooling yourself because sometimes you fuck around and say something to yourself for so long you begin to believe it. But that's the beauty of that part. You know what I mean? Temporarily. Um, that's the beauty of it because you tend to think after a while I don't have it, but you know you do. It's stacked aside. I can't explain the psyche of it. I'm not a psychiatrist, but it's the formality of it. Um, I'm not even gonna get into it because I'm sitting there saying, so does a man think it, so is he. But my thing is again, it comes to that psyche part of being responsible. And sometimes you just got to outright tell yourself, bitch, you can't afford no Gucci pocketbook. You better go take your ass over there to Aldo's and get your purse. You can afford it now, but in 5 years or 2 to 3 years or 10 years from now, can you really afford that? You have to think in the long run of your finances. That's how I think. I can go out. I can go out right now and buy Versace. What do you want the bags? I can go buy an expensive bag right now. A couple of them. I always say that. But at the end of the day, what is my investment in that? What can I do with that bag? You know what I mean? So what I use my money is what I use my money for is investments. I mean, when somebody asked me before, how do you make your money? Investing, and mostly investing in myself. So the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be. Invest in yourself first, especially a God-given talent that you know that you have the ability to actually make multi-millions on, or at least live a comfortable life. Don't sit around here thinking, oh girl, I got $10,000 or $100,000 and I can just go blow it off. No, you can for now, but continue living that life and see where you end up. Bitch, you gonna be over there in a Walmart box over there by the railroad track, then by a restaurant trying to see what what they're doing the trash can out there. Latrina said, I'm late. I had a hair appointment. Hello from Chicago. What's going on, cousin? I'm glad you made it. I wish you can show us your weed because in your picture, you seem like yes, baby, listen, your party cap stays laid. And everybody can appreciate a good lay of hair. I know I can. Listen, guys, I'm past my hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I was a little tired tonight, so y'all don't really attribute that to me being, not doing enough. I was a little tired. I had to run to the city, run down there and check on my mom in the hospital and things like that. Make sure that she was good. Make sure that the family was okay. And of course, being big brother, although I'm the youngest brother in the family, still having to do the work, but glad to report that all is well. My mother is doing fine. She is to be, I think she's discharged already because she's been bringing my damn phone up probably to let me know and probably how they treating her and won't give her certain shit. Um, I just been tired. I had a lot going on this weekend, but still blessed and ain't trying to be stressed. So I encourage you guys to be the same way. Um, again, if this is your first time on a live, please share these lives. Please go ahead and hit the thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel as we are trying to grow the family because there are some new things that I told you guys in the last show that are on the way. And I want you guys to be a part of that. It ain't coming out y'all's pocket unless you choose to, but it's gonna be a nice fun adventure. I think next year is gonna be a ride that we're all going to enjoy. Here at least. There's so much coming, and that's why I'm doing this show once a week, because I have so many things going on that I'm trying to get prepared for. Like I said before, um, and work with some things and people trying to elevate the show and take it to another platform or another level come next year. So I know a lot of y'all probably sitting there saying, "Yeah, right. I know you lying." No, I'm not lying. It's on the way. So yes, thank you guys so much. I love you for all that you do. I know that you feel like you do um, a whole lot, and I think you do too. I ask you guys for a lot, but y'all always exceed my expectation, and I love you guys so much for it. Um, but I'm gonna get my Sherelle looking ass out of here and go on here and eat my Sunday dinner. And I'm gonna see y'all next Sunday at 7 p.m. on the live, on time, and with your kids in the bed. All right. Love you guys so much. Y'all take care until next Sunday. Bye.